Hi, it's Judy and Lee. Today we're going to change the screen in a Dell Inspiron 5555 laptop. Here's what our screen looked like after the laptop got in a fight with Judy's recliner and lost. First, you'll need a few tools: spudgers, case opening tools, and tweezers. You may need a screwdriver if your screen is screwed in. Please don't use normal screwdrivers and the like to open the case. You'll risk damaging the case of your laptop. Before doing anything else, remove the battery from the laptop. Start at a top corner of the screen with a case opening tool. Gently insert the tool until you get between the two halves of the case. Move along the top. You'll hear several loud pops. That's the normal sound of the case latches releasing. Be careful not to damage any of the wires that are there. Be especially careful near the middle of the top, near the webcam. If you are lucky, your screen will be held in by screws and will stay with the back part of the case. Judy is pointing out the screw positions. In this instance, you would remove the screws and the screen would separate from the rear of the case. In our laptop, the screen was glued to the front part of the case. Now remove the connector from the screen. The connector is taped down. Carefully lift the tape, but do not remove it. There is a small metal bar that holds the connector together. Lift the bar and separate the two halves of the connector. Next, we had to separate the screen from the front part of the case. Carefully insert a tool between the screen and the case. Work your way around until the case front is separated from the screen. This is the second time that we've had to replace the screen in our laptop, so it went pretty easy. The first time was a bit tougher as the adhesive tape had been set in place for several years. Also, the first time we replaced the screen, we had to remove old adhesive tape from the inside of the front part of the case. We used cotton squares soaked in rubbing alcohol. This took some time, so be patient. This time, all the adhesive stayed with the broken screen. Take a look at the numbers on the back part of the screen if there is any doubt as to which screen to order. Order the screen that matches your model number exactly. There are many screens with similar model numbers, so be careful. Remove the protective plastic from the front of the screen. If your screen had screws holding it in place, skip ahead to where we are reconnecting the screen and mount the screen to the rear part of the case with the screws. With our laptop, we used the 1/8" double-sided super adhesive tape available from ScreenCountry.com. We found it best to use one strip of tape applied to the sides and top of the screen itself, and two strips, side by side, applied to the inside of the front half of the case for the bottom. When applying the tape, be careful and take your time to get the tape down smoothly. Once the tape is stuck down, use a small tool to really stick it down. Next, remove the backing. Now, place the screen with the exposed adhesive tape in front of you. Carefully attach the front frame onto the screen. Make sure the screen is aligned with the frame because you really only have one chance to do this. Make sure all sides of the screen are securely stuck to the frame. After the frame and screen are back together, reconnect the screen connector to the screen. Use the tweezers to help get the connector in place and to get the bar back to where it's supposed to be. Smooth the tape back over the connector to hold everything in place. Take the reconnected screen and line the lower part over the hinges and tilt it upward. Start at one corner and work your way around, snapping the case back together. You'll hear the loud pops as the case goes back in place. Try to close the case. If it does not easily close, that means there are still some places that are not completely snapped back properly. Especially check the areas around the hinges. It may require the use of a tool to get everything around the hinges back in place. Once the laptop opens and closes smoothly, power up the laptop and see the results of your work. Having a black band around the outside of the screen is normal for this laptop, so don't worry about that. And that's how we replaced the screen in a Dell Inspiron 5555 laptop.